Hello and welcome to a special Saturday morning podcast here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. I'm your host, Leo Beers, and I'm very excited to have on Coach Jimmy Alapag from the Stockton Kings. My man, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's Saturday, it's family day, but I really appreciate it. How are you doing?
No worries, Leo. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
I want to start off with the very beginning, Coach. How did you fall in love with basketball?
Man, so Leo, I'll take you way back. Obviously being born to two Filipino parents, in the Philippines, basketball is like the number one sport. It's basketball and Manny Pacquiao.
Facts.
And so, the influence started pretty early. My dad was a huge basketball fan. I'm the youngest of six kids, so my two older brothers, my three older sisters, like as a family, we just kind of watched basketball. And so, the love kind of started from there. I started playing at an early age. And yeah, that's kind of where the journey started.
That's awesome. Are there any specific stories as a kid that really resembles today for you? You're like, man, like that was a key moment in me continuing to pursue basketball.
Oh man, I'll take you back to when I was in high school. So
Okay.
freshman year in high school, I was 4'9", 90 pounds.
Oh.
Not not ideal when you're trying to play basketball, especially here in the States. But I was the only kid in our high school who made the varsity team. And so, initially, right, there were about back then we had about 6,000 kids at our high school. I went to Upland High School, down here in Southern California, and so had a bunch of kids at our school. I'm the only freshman on the varsity team. So initially it's like, oh man, that's cool. That's awesome. You're the only freshman on the varsity team. Everybody's going to come watch you on those Friday, Saturday nights. And, of course I'm excited. But sure enough, once the season starts, I'm not playing.
Right.
It's just like I'm literally at the end of the bench. I was always the last guy to leave, first guy in, even at that age, at 13, 14 years old. But again, I'm 4'9", 90 pounds.
Right.
So from a physicality standpoint, I just really couldn't keep up. I can shoot better than most of the guys, if not all the guys. I could handle the ball better. I knew how to play. But again, just from the physicality aspect, I just struggled. And so it was tough. And I went through my entire freshman year. And by the time my sophomore year came around, now I'm like 5'1", 100 pounds. And again, first one in, last one leave, and I still am not playing. And it was probably, looking back now, being 43, that sophomore year, we were probably a month or two into the season. I kind of knew where it was going, right? I wasn't playing again. And so I went and I approached our head coach, Jeff Klein, and I asked him to meet before school. So I went to his office at like 6:30 in the morning. I had my bag, my practice gear, my game stuff, all in the bag and ready to give it to him. And I just said, hey, coach, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, but, maybe this ain't for me. And I'm telling you, Leo, we must have spoke for about 2 hours.
Wow.
And he convinced me that day that all the work that I was doing was going to be for something. And I just had to kind of see it through, and just kind of stay the course through it all. And I didn't quit. And I didn't know the value of that at that age, being 14, 15
Right.
years old. But looking back as I went through college and eventually played overseas, I understood how important that moment was because, my life could have taken a completely different direction if I didn't stay with it and he didn't convince me to.
So did you play that year?
No.
Oh.
And here's the crazy part. My junior year, I still didn't play. My
What?
junior year, 5'3", 110, 115 pounds. But then finally, the summer going into my senior year, I got with our assistant coach. We spent literally locked me in the weight room that summer just to get stronger. Started my whole senior year. We had a great senior year. Won the league championship.
At 5'6" or 5'9"?
At that time, yeah, I was already about 5'7", 5'8". I finally hit my little growth spurt that summer. Thank God. And so, I had a great senior year. The team did really well. But, again, you're talking – I graduated in 96. During that time, you really couldn't play just one good year of high school basketball.
Right.
Most college scouts wanted to see it at least for 2 years, and I didn't have that. And so that's what started the scenic route, going to Division III. Great people, great school. Basketball experience was not what I expected it to be. So I transferred, went junior college, and then finally signed at Cal State San Bernardino for my junior and senior year.
So at your age right now, reflecting back on just say your sophomore and junior year, what would you say was the biggest difference between you not starting in comparison to the guy that was in front of you? Like, was he that much better than you? Like, what is it, you know?
I mean, it wasn't a skill thing,
Okay.
because I could handle the ball the best on the team, I could pass the best, I could shoot the best on the team. But again, from a physicality standpoint, I couldn't match up with
Defensively.
the upperclassmen, the guys who were the juniors and the seniors. And so it was really like during that high school time trying to play catch up, and just trying to have my physical ability catch up to my skill set. Because I mean, Leo, I've been playing basketball since I was 3, so I
Right.
would be in the gym all the time. But again, when you're that small, it makes it tough. So the blessing was taking that scenic route in college, going Division III, going to the JUCO level, and then finally signing at Cal State San Bernardino, which is Division II. It gave me time to really catch up, to keep working on my game, get stronger. And so by the time we got to Cal State, I felt like I was ready, not just from the basketball side, but also just from the physical part.
So what'd you end up at? 5'9", 5'8"?
Yep. I graduated college. I was about 5'9". I was already about 160.
Okay. And that was your professional
But
playing weight?
my playing weight by the time I got overseas, yeah, like about 165.
5'9",
5'9".
5'9", 165?
Yep, soaking wet.
Hey, there it is. Hey, I tell people this. It's possible, man. Don't make no
No,
excuses. Coach can do it.
no, absolutely, absolutely. If there's one thing, Leo, that I would hope that people who had a chance to see me, or read about my experience, it was something. Basketball is in my heart and it's in my soul, and there was just nothing that was gonna stop me from from trying to continue and trying to reach the goals that I had. And again, even as I went through college, even as I went through, when I finally, got overseas and started playing, I still went back to that time when I was in high school. And again, that's when it made me realize how valuable that conversation with my coach was, and how valuable it was that I didn't quit. Because, I mean, you're in high school, right? I mean,
Right.
it's easy. I mean, there's so many other things going on. You can hang out with your friends. You can go to the football games. You can go to the parties. You can go to the movies.
Right.
But basketball is what I wanted to do. And, I'll never forget my brother, my oldest brother, Chris, told me, he said, if this is something that you want to do, you better be ready to work harder than everybody else. That's
Right.
just the way it is.
Mm.
And I took that to heart. And so when people are at the football games and I can hear them at the football stadium next door, I was in the gym with my coach.
100%. That's an awesome story. So besides that conversation with your coach, was there anybody else that was more of a rock, a foundation, maybe spiritually, that helped you get through that? Or was it just like that conversation that you had with your coach?
Well, definitely my family, Leo. Again, growing up the youngest of 6 kids, the support that I had from my family, was everything, and still is. Even having a family now of my own,
Hmm.
my parents, my brothers and sisters, like they all continue to support me, even when I was struggling. It's not easy when you're that young in high school and you're not playing, because from it being something cool and something awesome to be that young on the varsity team, it pretty quickly it turned to, man, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
You got all your friends there, your family there, the cheerleaders there, and it's like, man, I'm the guy when you're down 20 and the crowd's like, put Jimmy in the game. I'm like, please don't. But again,
Okay.
the support that I had from them, was everything. And I'm glad that as I was able to see it through, they were still there with me, and they were able to see, the end result of, their youngest son, realizing his dream of playing professionally.
So let's transition into coaching. How did you get into coaching?
So after my playing career, I played almost 14 years, And the last coach that I played for, Norman Black, he's a legend in Philippine basketball. He
Right.
played shows back in the day. Um, and back when he played in the Philippines, there weren't many overseas leagues at the time. I think it was just like the CBA and then the Philippines. And he took a gig in the Philippines, and Leo, he ended up having a 10-year career as an import in the Philippines. I mean, put up, incredible numbers and won a bunch of championships. And then I'm sorry,
You're
he
good.
used that, he used that, he used that as really a springboard to get into coaching there. So I had a chance to play for him my last season, and when I retired, we had conversations because he'd known me from the time that I got to the Philippines. So that's spanning 20 years. We had conversation. He said, "Hey, I would love for you to stay on if you see yourself coaching." And so being able to be an assistant and doing like player development with his staff right after retiring was huge. Just being able to not only have conversation with him, but being in those coaches meetings, seeing how he prepared for practice, seeing how he prepared for games, and really the detail in everything that he did. That gave me a lot of confidence, going forward and trying to coach myself.
So for the people who aspire to coach, like myself and many others, would you say getting into player development at what level or like a video coordinating position, what would you recommend?
Um, I think first and foremost, Leah, it depends at what level that you want to coach at.
Right. I would
Um,
say Division 1 college basketball or the NBA G League.
okay, I think I'm not sure so much what Division 1 programs would be looking for, but I know at the professional level, I kind of had it helped me because I played for so long, and
Mm.
then again I just stayed on with my coach for that first year after retirement. Um, but again, I would encourage anybody who wants to get into coaching at the professional level to continue reaching out, continue networking with people and expect that you'll hear a lot of no's. I mean, I heard a lot of those as well. But again, you just you keep studying, you keep learning about the game, so that just for your own knowledge and as you're networking and as you're connecting with people, um, and again, I think if you do that long enough, that something will catch on, and once you get your foot in the door, even if it's not maybe a position that you
Well,
hope for in the
yeah.
beginning to get your foot in the door. I think I would encourage young coaches to take that opportunity, and build it and grow it from there. And again, because I think once you do that, the growth continues, the learning continues, and then eventually you'll still get to where you want to be.
There it is, y'all. What were your thoughts on the Kings just as a basketball fan, like not being a coach or anything like that growing up?
Well, growing up, I was a huge fan of obviously the time with Coach Bobby and Vlade and Peja and C Webb and all those guys. Um, Not only because they were winning, but the way that they played. It was an entertaining style, but it was a very efficient and a very selfless style of play. When you watch them, they were, I think, before their time in terms of the pace that they played at. Um, and just the ball movement and just making plays for each other offensively and defensively. I think that spoke volumes of not only the talent that they had, but the chemistry that they had within those teams, on and off the court. Because you don't find very many teams who play the way that they did. You don't even see it so much now. I mean, probably now, I think the organization that comes to mind would probably be the Spurs. The
Right.
self ball movement, player movement. Everybody knows about the culture that Popovich has established over there through the years. So that to me, watching them as a young basketball fan is what really drew me to how they played, and they were having fun, man. And you gotta love
Yeah.
that.
The Kings are historically, I mean historically, the worst defense ever last season. It wasn't pretty to watch, obviously. So they addressed it. They drafted one of the best defenders in the draft, and Davion
Yep.
Mitchell. Your summer league defensive scheme looked good in comparison to last season. Did you guys make any or some adjustments, or did Davion's relentlessness just make that much of a difference in terms of setting the tone and leading by example.
Lou, I think a lot of the credit goes to Coach Bobby because, in our meetings, leading up to Summer League, it's something that he really, encouraged the guys from day one and said, hey, listen, if we're going to be successful in the Summer League, I get it. Guys are here trying to get jobs, whether it's the NBA, the G League, or big clubs overseas. But he said, he told the guys, if we're going to be successful, we have to buy in defensively. And I'll never forget, man, our first practice of Summer League, I'm not sure what the guys were thinking about, going into Summer League or how it was going to be, but we got after it, like right away. After they warmed up, like we hit the ground running. And I think that first day really kind of set the tone, for our team and for the guys to understand that for all of us to be successful and for everybody to get an opportunity in some space professionally, that this is how we're gonna have to play. And it was awesome. We had a great group, and it was awesome to see the guys come together and really buy in defensively. And of course, Davion, was really, the catalyst in all of that. I was so impressed, to see a young player lead, by example, by his work ethic and how he talked guys up during the huddles on both sides of the ball. Offensively, oh, hey, my fault. I missed you on that pass. I got you in the next one. Or defensively, hey, that was my fault in the switch. I'll be there. Those things, Leo, are so invaluable to winning teams, and it's very natural for him because he's a winner. And I always say winners win. And so to see his impact on our summer league team, I can't wait, for the seasons to start because, he's been at it the entire off season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, how much he can help the Kings this season.
Being so close to him or being around him, would you say that he loves to watch a lot of film? And do you think that film really helps you elevate and just help your game overall?
Yeah, I think with Davion, he's just a sponge. He's extremely coachable. Whether it was Coach Bobby or one of us from the staff, whatever advice that we might, tell him during the game or at practice, he takes it willingly. And again, he's a student of the game. He comes in, whether it's watching video, coming in early, staying late. And again, those are all things that winners do, right? And especially for a young player, he carries a quiet confidence, but at the same time, a very mature approach to his work. And again, it's awesome, man. For someone like at my size to have survived the game as long as and to see him, the reigning national, defensive player of the year come on board with the Kings and really address something that has been an issue, for the team. And again, you're not only bringing in a big time defensive guy, but a winner. So again, I'm excited, man, to see him on the court with Tyrese and De'Aaron and the rest of the guys. I'm excited for them for sure.
Can you go over some of the obligations that you'll have as an assistant coach for Stockton this year?
Leo, we haven't had like a coaches or staff meeting yet with our staff. But again, I think a huge advantage for us is that our staff for the Stockton team, we were all together for the summer league. So I think in terms of terminology, in terms of how Coach Bobby wants our team to play this upcoming season, I think we have myself, Coach Will Scott, Akachi Okugo. I think all three of us have a strong understanding of what Coach Bobby wants to do and how he wants to play. So I think that alone, is a big help to us going into our training camp, next month. But I definitely see myself probably helping more on the offensive side of the ball, just helping Coach Bobby, on that end. But again, I'm flexible. At the end of the day, I know how much this opportunity means to him. Having been in the NBA, as a player for a number of years and as a coach as well. So whatever us as a staff can do to help him and make this season a successful one, I'm with all of it.
From your perspective, what are you looking forward to most this season, and how would you describe a successful season for the Stockton Kings?
Oh man, I cannot wait to get started. Having been overseas for so long, and to get this opportunity, it's a huge blessing. And I'm just excited to get started. I'm excited. I'm excited that the group that we have for our Stockton team, a core of it will be some of our guys from the summer league. So again, hopefully we'll just continue to build on what we did this summer. And again, have a team that the organization, that the Stockton community, will come out and support and be proud to call their team.
And I can't leave you without talking about your great YouTube channel, man. It's a great YouTube family channel. How did that start, and where do you see that going in the future?
Well, Leo, that whole YouTube channel thing was an idea of my wife.
Okay.
Again, I was in the Philippines for close to 20 years, and was fortunate enough to build a fan base there. My wife, owns her own business now, but used to be an actress for a number of years, and so she just kind of came up with the idea as we started to our family started to grow that, hey, let's start a YouTube channel. And to be honest, I was pretty hesitant about it. I was just like, a YouTube channel. And so she kept trying to convince me, and I just told her, I said, okay, well, if we're gonna do a channel, I just want it to be us. If we want to open our lives up to to people and just kind of show them our day to day as a husband and a wife, and having 3 kids, then I just want it to be us. I don't want, you hear nowadays, right, with all these channels and like scripted stuff, and I said, I don't want to do that. Like, I just want it to be us. So what they see, and whether it's the great stuff or the struggle, as parents sometimes, I want it to be, I want it to be transparent. I want it to just be us. And so she finally convinced me. And it's been great. It's been crazy to see, how many people, follow our family and are connected to us. And it's been great. It's been great to just kind of share our experiences as a young couple, with 3 young kids, and just, the transition from our life in Manila to making the big move here back to the States after so many years. And again, now, getting ready to head up there to Sacramento. We just found a place, which is a huge blessing for us. So, getting ready. The kids are excited. So, yeah, I'm just excited to have our family in the Sacramento community. It's such a basketball-rich community, and to now be a part of it. I mean, I'm coaching with Bobby Jackson, right? It's a blessing, and it's something I can't wait to get started with.
As you said, man, your channel is very genuine. I was hooked on it. I started watching one episode. I was like, damn, this is a pretty good show, man. So definitely keep up the great work there. Thank you so much, Coach, for spending some time with us. I want to be respectful of your time. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning. If you guys enjoyed this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a review on iTunes. It's going to be a good season, y'all. Thank you so much, Coach, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, Leo.
Peace.
Appreciate it.